Hello and welcome to another edition of Answers from the Ark, a new podcast for the families, team members and friends of the Ark Eastern Connecticut. I'm your host, Brian Scott Smith. We're back with our fifth podcast in the series as we answer questions and provide up-to-date information about the Ark Eastern Connecticut during the coronavirus pandemic. I'm joined as usual by the Ark Eastern Connecticut CEO, Kathleen Stauffer. It's good to have you back, Kathleen. Hope you're staying safe and well.
Yes, Brian, it's nice to be with you as well.
So we're talking about the various COVID-19 vaccines, and I suppose the real question, should I get the vaccine?
Yeah, Brian, you really should. The vaccine works by teaching your immune system to recognize and fight the virus that causes COVID-19 and to protect you from getting sick with it. Now, keep in mind, it takes a few weeks for your body to build immunity after vaccination. It's important to continue all previous safety practices right after your shot and even after you're believed to have immunity. And you need to do this, and I need to do this, not just for your sake or my sake, but for the sake of the people that we serve and for our community and for our families.
Now, obviously, there's lots of questions about these vaccines, and one of those, of course, that gets asked a lot, what are the side effects? And the other question is, will it make me sick?
It's normal to experience mild side effects after any vaccine. But what we're learning with the COVID vaccine is a lot of people don't have any side effects at all. And keep in mind that if you do get a vaccine for a virus like this, side effects actually mean that your immune system is working. Some family members and friends that I have who have gotten this vaccine have experienced a little arm discomfort, but nothing more. So some side effects, if you have them, might come after the second dose and tend to be more pronounced in younger people, but we're not hearing a lot about side effects. Some things that people have mentioned is, say, maybe feeling tired or fatigued. They might have a headache, joint or muscle pain, fever and chills, maybe a little nausea, pain at the site of injection, swollen lymph nodes in the arm that received the injection. Again, that means that your immune system is working. Something to keep in mind if you're making a decision to have the vaccine, of all the people who have been vaccinated, none who were vaccinated who did get the virus were hospitalized or died. And there was a large number, a disproportionate number of people in that trial group who had diabetes, who were obese, who are elderly. All of these things we know to be high risk factors. So the vaccines that are being administered here in America are the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine with a 95% effective rate. So that's another reason to keep wearing a mask, and not just to protect other people, but to protect yourself. You do have a 5-6% chance, possibility, small though it is, of getting the virus. But what we do know is of people who got the vaccine who did end up getting the virus, that small proportion, people did not get terribly sick. People have been getting sick from the virus. But the vaccine itself does not seem to make people sick, and it does seem to protect you even if you do get the virus.
Another question people obviously are asking is, can I get COVID from the vaccine?
No, that's something we're sure about. None of the COVID vaccines being used in the United States contain any virus, whether living or dead, in the way that sometimes the common flu vaccine does contain live or dead virus. That's not the case with this COVID vaccine. Again, at least the ones that are being administered here in the U.S. The AstraZeneca vaccine does use traditional flu vaccine technology, but that's not being used in the U.S. and it would not be offered to anybody at the Ark Eastern Connecticut either. The Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine, as I said, it's a completely new technology, and it's kind of neat because it's called the coronavirus because corona means crown. And so this virus, and you've probably seen pictures of it, it's got this little kind of spiky crown around it. And those spikes actually punch into your cell and deposit virus in there, and then very quickly causes a coronavirus infection throughout your body by manufacturing more and more of that virus material. This vaccine, and probably we at the Ark Eastern Connecticut will be getting the Moderna vaccine, it duplicates just a little piece of that spike. So you don't get any virus in the shot. You just get a little piece of that crown, and your body starts to make copies of that spike. And should you run into the virus after you're immune, that little spiky thing is, your body has a ho-hum response to it as opposed to this full-blown illness that so many people have gotten. So, there's none of that coronavirus explosion inside your cell that people who don't have the vaccine are experiencing, because the vaccine is designed to stop all of that.
Now, of course, with these vaccines, people need to get 2 doses, 2 injections. So tell us a little bit about that. But also there's a question of, well, can I just get one and take my chances?
Well, with the COVID vaccine, it is a 2-shot process and for optimal immunity. And here's why. The first shot helps your body recognize the virus and it gets your immune system primed. Now, the second shot strengthens your immune response and it prepares your body to fight that infection. So getting only 1 shot doesn't give you full protection. You do need 2, and they are spaced about a month apart.
And what about protection once people get the vaccination? Does it protect forever? Do we know?
Well, science really doesn't know yet if that's the case. Will we need booster shots? Does the vaccine work forever? We're not sure. And we do know that even after the vaccine, you still might be able to infect people. So the mask and the social distancing still matter, and you want to protect yourself against that, 5 or 6% chance where possibly, the odds might be against you. You might catch it. And I do want to say, Brian, a lot of the information that we're sharing here, you've done some research. We've done some research with the CDC, but I also want to credit Dr. Reggie Eady, who is CEO of the Trinity Health of New England Network. Dr. Eady was kind enough to meet with Connecticut Conference of Executives of the ARC, and he explained to us how these things work. He is, of course, head of one of the biggest health networks, if not the biggest health network in New England. And so I do want to credit Dr. Eady with having given us a lot of this information. And he's one of those talented people who's able to take complicated concepts and make them a little bit more understandable. So that's where we're getting this information. We know a lot about the coronavirus now. We know a lot more about the vaccines. We know a lot more about vaccine technology for viruses, maybe because of this virus, than we ever have before. But we don't know everything. We do have a lot of data, though, and a lot of evidence to believe that it does protect us and it is safe.
Another very important question which has come up is about infertility. And the question that was put is, I've heard it can cause infertility. So what do we know about that?
Well, there really is no evidence of that at all. It's a really good question, but again, the vaccine components don't contain the kinds of materials that can change your cell or cause your cell to behave in a way that it isn't supposed to behave. So basically, it sends a message to your cell. It tells your cell to protect itself, but it doesn't change the way your cell would function in terms of basic biological function. And so it can't back up into a cell and change it. There's no evidence at all that there's a problem there.
And then what about allergic reactions to the vaccine? Because some people can have those, can't they?
Well, there have been a few problems reported. And so it is possible, but it's really quite unlikely. Now, to protect you, you will be required after your shots to wait for a short time. I believe it's about 15 minutes. And if you get a COVID-19 vaccine and you think you might be having a bad reaction, you should seek immediate medical care by calling 911. If you're a person who, though, just tends to have allergies, and I'm one of those people. I'm allergic to quite a few things, and pollen and grass and milk and things like that. You can bring your EpiPen with you just as a precaution, or you can ask when you arrive, is there an EpiPen on the premises before you get the shot? And what I would suggest, if you have concerns about allergic reaction, talk to your allergist. I'm told that if you have a shellfish allergy, you should avoid the Moderna vaccine and get the Pfizer instead. But what doctors are saying is if you have not had a problem with other vaccines, you should be okay with this one. And when I get the vaccine, and I am going to get it, I plan to take extra antihistamine before I get it. And I talked to my allergist about this. I talked to my doctor, and my doctor said, yeah, it would be safe. We talked about the dose that my doctor felt would be safe. So I would say if you're concerned about allergy, talk to your doctor about it. I think your doctor can be very helpful, but I would not be worried about having an allergic reaction if you haven't had a problem with other vaccines.
That's good to know. And also, I suppose the question is, what are the other benefits to my getting the vaccine?
Well, your health and safety and your family's matters. This is not just a way of protecting yourself, Brian, but it's also a way to help protect your family, the people you care about, the people that you work with. And so while some providers are mandating vaccines for their staff, I have confidence that our team at the ARC Eastern Connecticut is a caring, responsible, thoughtful, and smart team. And for this reason, what we're doing at the ARC Eastern Connecticut, we're offering a one-time incentive to team members who do the right thing and get vaccinated. And currently, as we've discussed here, 2 doses of the vaccine are required for immunity. And once you've gotten, if you're an employee of the ARC Eastern Connecticut, once you've had both doses, you will receive a card certifying that you have had your full vaccination. You have to submit a copy of this card to be eligible for the incentive, but we have chosen, while we can mandate it, we're asking you to do the right thing, and we are choosing to incentivize it and make it worth your while to get the vaccine, not just to protect yourself, but to protect your family and to protect the people who we serve.
Well, that's very generous of the ARC Eastern Connecticut there. And as you say, shows what a great organization you are to work for as well. You sort of alluded to this a couple of minutes ago when we were talking about whether or not you're getting the vaccine. So tell us more.
Oh, yes. As soon as I'm eligible, I will be getting this vaccine. The ARC Eastern Connecticut is strongly committed to protecting the health and safety of our entire team and the people we support, and so am I. So what I would like to do is invite our family at the ARC Eastern Connecticut, please join me in protecting yourself, in protecting the people we serve, and in protecting our community. Please get this vaccine with me.
Kathleen Stauffer, CEO of the ARC Eastern Connecticut. As always, it's great talking to you. Thank you for this very, very clear information that you have discussed with us on this particular edition of Answers from the ARC podcast. And of course, to you and everybody at the ARC Eastern Connecticut, stay safe and well.
Thank you, Brian, and you as well.
That's all from this edition. If you have any questions you want answered, then send them to answers@thearcect.org and we'll include them in future podcasts. And don't forget, you can get all the latest information about the coronavirus and what the ARC Eastern Connecticut is doing at their website, thearcect.org. And for the latest state information about the coronavirus and the vaccines we've discussed, visit the state's website at ct.gov/coronavirus. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and we'll have another Answers from the ARC podcast for you soon. Bye for now.